Adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming. It's a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives.
The adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Jeff, what do I say? It has been a while after this.
It has been. We're on New Dad vacation.
This is a New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old.
It is so good to be back, everybody. It was a small hiatus during the summer, and I think the best part about the hiatus, Jeff, was that it was for no damn good reason.
It really wasn't. There's nothing eventful that happened. Maybe one too many freezies. I don't know. But, really nothing. We were just tired.
So we were in the midst of July. And firstly, big shout out to all the other podcasts. We'd given a shout out to a number of the friends. So This Week in Gaming, A Gamer Looks at 40. Any other ones top of your head, Jeff? I'm trying to remember some of the...
No, again, we've been on vacation. Coming back into this, it's just like... Where am I?
But between a couple good followers of the show reaching out to us and wishing us good tidings, we're back. There was no reason to take it. There was no tragedy. There's no event. It was just summer. You know what is tragedy? Summer as a parent. Summer as a parent is a goddamn tragedy. Because you had a really good reference, from comparing it to when you were younger, right? Like back when you were a kid, huh?
Oh, yeah. Like back when you were younger, or at least in my memory, was just summer was amazing. It was infinite time. You could do what you wanted. There was no limit to whatever. The days seemed longer. It was fun. Everything was happening. Yeah. As a parent, everything is happening. There's no time for everything that is happening.
And it's your responsibility.
Yeah. What is that all about? Who decided this?
Man, I had work get crazy. We had some trips come up. One kid's in baseball, one kid's in soccer. I'm doing my best to enjoy it for sure, but it just feels like this slapdash, constant, never-ending kind of cycle of things. Then you also get this, I don't know if you're kind of feeling it yourself, but you also get this overwhelming sense of time slipping away. Because, especially here in Canada, there's 3 months that you get of this glorious season. And you think about it in the dead of winter. It's minus 40 outside, you're packed with snow. And you're thinking, oh, this summer's going to be so nice. We're going to be warm. We're going to go to beaches and stuff. And then it's another Thursday. You're like, oh my God, we have my deck fell apart and I have to go do that. And then my kids got baseball. What is happening?
Yeah, I don't know about you if you keep a family Google calendar, but we have that running, and it's just that fills up immediately. So all these things are happening, and you'll cross one off, and you're like, okay, what's tomorrow?
So I'll say this, I have this duality because summer camp is kind of a fool's gambit. Because, at least, the thing with me is because I work at home, right? When my kids are off, they're not doing anything, I don't necessarily have those morning responsibilities because I don't have to take care of them. They get some cereal, I'll make them some breakfast, but they'll go play a game, they'll do something, right? So transition from bed to work for me, I gain that back during the summer. But then they're home all day, and that becomes a problem because they'll just want to be in front of screens. So you sign them up for camp. Okay, that sounds good on paper, but guess what has to happen? We have to wake up. We have to get breakfast. We have to prepare lunches. We have to make sure they're dressed and they have all their things. Hey, guess what? It's movie week or it's Minion week at this damn camp. So you need to send your kids in yellow. And then you got to put them into the car. And now you come home and you have this condensed time to get, your work done and everything else. So you're just back in school. You're just as if they're in school. So you get the benefit of them being occupied and engaged. And you lose all the benefits of them not having to go somewhere, right?
Yeah, again, throughout that day, because we booked a couple camps just to keep the kids busy. But throughout the day, like you're looking at the clock almost like you're looking at the months of summer, and you're like, oh my God, I just got home from dropping them off and I got to go back out again to pick them up, because the camps don't like, well, at least my camps, they don't run the full day. It's like from 9 to 3. I'm like, what is that? What is 9 to 3? Like that doesn't give me enough of a break. What am I paying this for?
Okay, I'll give you one. Have you been threatened with fees per minute for not picking up your kid?
Oh, not per minute, but
I think it's like per minute or by every 10 minutes or something like that. It's like for every 5 minutes that our staff has to stay extra, we will charge you $10. It was very angry, and it's like, aren't you supposed to be super happy kid camp? Like you're coming off really threatening right now. Financial penalties from me.
Yeah, I know we've had that in the past. There must be some people that just like leave the kid there and like, they'll be fine for another hour. You know what I mean? And then, like they're stuck. But yeah, there's pretty hefty fines. I want to say they're like summer camp fines for you not to be there on time, like or early, because that doesn't give you a discount. You could be there early. So
also fees. Yeah, it's like, tell you what, I won $100 at the casino last night. You go ahead and keep the kid for now. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna go buy myself something nice.
Is this an overnight camp? You could just we'll pick them up tomorrow.
Keep the change. Anyways, we digress. Of course, it's so great to be back. Thanks everybody for the wonderful messages. Thanks all the fellow podcasts for reaching out and giving some good share around. But we're back at it. Going to try to keep our usual schedule. So as always, if you like the podcast, definitely do subscribe. Find us on iTunes, Google Play, anywhere you get your podcasts. We really appreciate ratings and comments. That really helps boost the signal for it. So if you do that, it'd be great. And otherwise, just sharing it, retweeting it. That helps to any other gaming dads looking to share in the joys and misery of raising with video games. Now, speaking of one such joy, I had a really awesome experience with my oldest. So he had took a break from Roblox, thank God.
Okay.
Which is always wonderful to have. And he dipped back into Immortals Fenyx Rising. Yeah. So that was a game that he dove deeply into. And I can understand I myself really got into this game. It was fantastic. Highly recommend it as a pickup for you or your little ones if you see it on sale. Anyways, he had arrived with a bit of grinding all the way to the end boss.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
And he knew I'd been playing it as well, but he also knew I fell off of it. So
He's going to beat it for you?
In that I'm interested in this game, but just dad life had not come around to beat it. Anyway, so he pauses the game. He's on the final ascent. He's going to go do it, right? And he stops and he comes and finds me in this hurried, excited tone. He's like, Dad, I'm going to beat it. I'm going to beat Fenyx. You got to come. Come watch me beat it. We'll do it together. He's like, I know you want to see it. So we go and we rush off together. We sit down, and then for the next 30, 40 minutes, whatever it took him to challenge and beat it, got to experience it together. It was just awesome. the coolest damn thing, because this is a game I really liked. He knew that I liked it. He really enjoyed it. And then in getting to the end, he wanted to experience that with me. Yeah. And that feels like, and you can, confirm or deny, that feels like such a moment in time sort of thing, where I sort of feel like that will not be the preeminent thought on his mind in future as he continues to play games. But man, I was just so ecstatic to be able to experience that with him.
Yeah, again, thinking back to where, I grew up as a kid, I didn't really have my parents take an interest in the game. So to have, your kid call you in saying, hey, look, we're going to beat this together. I got all this way, let's share in this. That's awesome. And I've had my kid just do that with I think Mario Wonder was the last one, because I really wanted to see at the end, but didn't have a chance to go through the levels. And they're like, I got you. Let's go look at the end. Okay, all right. That's awesome. That's amazing.
Because I thought, had your kids not started to spoil certain games for you, as opposed to sharing in the finale?
Yeah, it's more I know a secret, and do you know what I mean? Where they're they can reveal it at any time, but they're gonna keep it, But yes, they know a lot of. If they don't beat it themselves, they've definitely seen it on YouTube somewhere. So
okay, and they take it from me. But that's cool. Yeah. So your kids have also stopped and brought you in, to beat that game with you,
which I think is a good rite of passage for a new dad gaming kind of experience. That's awesome. Because again, it'll sit with you for a while, and I'm sure they'll remember it when they're, later in life. They're like, yeah, I beat that game with my dad. That was amazing. That was good.
Yeah, there's little experiences you get to do together. So it was great. I wanted to share it with you. I think for gaming dads coming up and they're, will I ever get time, or, if my kid gets in a game, what's going to be like? It's one of those positives, right? Because again, you'll hear a lot of the negatives around, oh, my kid's addicted to Fortnite or Roblox. I don't see them. I think this is a little opportunity for a bonding type of thing, and it kind of supports a gaming habit for us parents as well. So I wanted to put that into the ether and hope some gaming dads can get some joy out of that.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Hey, gaming dads, if you've ever had something similar, do reach out to the show at New Dad Gaming or newdadgaming.com. We'd love to read your stories of hope for shared gaming experiences.
No spoilers, though. No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. Kids do that enough. Gosh darn it. Now, the interesting thing you had mentioned to me for us to speak about was that so that's a joy in a moment that I have. My kids are kind of coming up younger ages, 9 and 6. But yours is, 14.
14, yeah.
And kind of breaching some new ground, as it were.
Yeah, they're we call it leveling up. So it's funny that So yeah, they have to prove the basic skills in their skill tree to level up to the next, kind of responsibility.
Yeah, they had 6 glowing pears and were able to concoct a skill point.
Exactly. And use it wisely. So yeah, my 14-year-old so just to kind of set the stage, my kids this summer have spent way too much time on screen. I think I've mentioned that to you, maybe even previously on the show, but as long as they're playing with their friends that are also online, I kind of find it as like, oh, okay, it's a collaborative thing.
It's a weird gray area, basically, because it's like, can I play games? No, go play with your friends. My friends are playing games.
My friends are online. Yeah, so it's definitely like they're hanging out with their friends. They're getting that kind of social, practice. But we do want them to still go outside. So my 14-year-old has said, every night without fail, they get ready to go. Like they have their shower, they eat, they get, change out of their pajamas, and they're ready to go outside. They'll go out every evening with their friends, meet up, and go to the park for hours. From 4 o'clock to curfew is 9 o'clock, 9:15. So for a good 5 hours, they're at the park, and then they say they go to the grocery store. And I just, in my mind, I'm I don't know about you, with your youth, but I did some, not shady stuff, but I don't know. I was pushing limits with things. Yeah. And I'm what are you doing at the park and then at the grocery store? You don't have much money, if not for some birthday money along the way. And just, if anything's, happening, if one of your friends is trying a cigarette or something, just let us know. We can talk about it. And again, no, we're not trying to be
helicopters.
We want things to happen and fail and move forward, whatever. No, they're playing tag, Trevor. They're playing tag at the park. And what I did to kind of, I just remember this. What we did to kind of spy, just to kind of not spy, but just check up. You wanted to make sure the stories were correct.
Yeah, you didn't want to. You didn't want to hover. You didn't want to ruin it, but you wanted to maybe walk past at a distance to just get a lay of the land.
Right, and so we sent the little sibling in.
What a traitor! What a traitor! He's working for the wrong team.
Oh, yeah. Again, the 11-year-old totally will tell us everything. Every single thing. And we've kind of kept that going. We're you shouldn't really do that. Keep secrets between each other. That makes sense. No. We'll tell every single secret. And that goes back to the spoiler thing, right? Yeah. We'll keep secrets only until it benefits them. So they went along with a 14-year-old. And then they came back and reported back to us.
The game was mission report. They gave me the dossier with all the intel.
Yeah, and it was to a T, and we could totally tell when they're lying. All this stuff is very we know your tells. And they're playing Grounders, big game amongst the youth, tag, and then they're going to the local grocery store and actually going down the international aisle and trying out a different drink. because
Man.
all their friends are from different backgrounds and stuff. So in order to keep everyone kind of inclusive, they go down and try a drink from everyone's kind of area. And I'm like, oh, that's really wholesome. Okay.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Jeez. I suppose one of the greatest problems with being a parent is that we were once kids ourselves.
Yeah.
And we know what we did, and therefore we know
s-
what kids are capable of.
I did stupid things, Trevor. Things I won't air out on this show because it will be evidence against me.
I'll give you one. I don't mind this. So
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So one of the favorite heists we ever pulled was in our town there'd be 1 week of the big garbage dump. So for us it was a treasure. It was just treasure hunting because everybody would throw out like TVs and like furniture and like old pokers, like whatever. It was the wildest stuff. So you just have these piles of things people would get rid of for big garbage day. Kids loved it. And this one time there was a couch, and the thought occurred to us in our very underdeveloped brains. It's like, wouldn't it be great if we put this couch on top of the school, and then we can just go up there and sit and hang out? So over the course of a few evenings, we like stacked up like these recycle bins, and we painstakingly like managed to push this couch up on top of the school roof. And then for that summer, every now and then, we were able to like shimmy up to one side and just sit on this couch that we had set up on the school roof.
That's quite amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you did that, right? It's a lot of problem solving. It's like, we had to figure out how to get it up there.
And a lack of like concern about one's safety, because at
Right,
some point
yeah,
someone's hanging over the edge and someone's like pushing from below with too much weight.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No,
the story itself is more illustrative, I think, of the nonsense that kids can get up to, and I've always found that to be really formative. Like, that was really amazing summers where we're not doing anything, we're just doing everything in the dumbest way. Like, we're just like kind of, and it's a bit like naughty in a sense, right? You know, like, it's not like the school doesn't appreciate a couch being on top of their building. At the same time, though, it's just like, oh, you rapscallions and your furniture placement. Like, like it's not illegal, it's not crimes, but it's still just like you're getting into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
But the good kind, where everybody kind of just rolls their eyes and kids will be kids. And I find it in my view, I hear what's going on there, and like that's super encouraging. Like, I don't know where you've landed on these evening escapades.
Again, it's just kind of validated, like, oh, you're just trying to hang out somewhere that is not, the house, and you're able to hang out somewhere where no one's going to kick you out, right, necessarily, because I think that's a lot of the problem now, is that kids don't know where to go, especially in certain neighborhoods where, like, the library is not open until, whatever time at night, or community center is too far away, or whatever. So for them to just kind of innocently plan this themselves, make sure that everybody's included, go off as a group, come home as a group within the time frames. Like, again, sticks to curfew, not a problem. They do have their cell phone on them in case something happens or whatever, they can check in. But this has been great. Like, it's, again, they're just having fun. They're maybe they're pushing the limits in other ways, right? But again, not doing something so terrible. Yeah. So just having them go out and do that, and it's night time, right, when they do it. So like, that's under the cover of darkness is totally different, right? So
every kid will find their own path, right, for sure. But I do enjoy kids who will stir up a little bit of trouble, be a little bit cheeky, like kind of like figure that type of stuff out. So it's not necessarily what they're doing, but even still, it's just they're out without any of the gaze of any of the parents. Like, they are parent free, and they're just starting to explore the space. And then they come up with a little ritual that's for them. It's like, what we do as a group? We go and we grab like special sodas that just to try it out, and like, ew, this one like tastes like mango. Like, oh, I hate it. Like, and it becomes this like formative like building blocks for who they are. Like, love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, they do little film clips of their reviews of the.
Nah, wait, really?
Yeah, they do little film clips. So they're like, oh, my 14-year-old was like, I can show you. I'm like, no, keep that private. That's fun. That's yours. You share it with your friends. And
Yeah.
Whatever. If I find it out on YouTube there, then we can have a conversation about, privacy. But
You save that for the podcast. That's good social
exactly.
content.
Yeah. Give it to Dad. Dad will put it out there to the wide audience. Yeah.
There we go. Man, amazing. Well, thanks for sharing that, man. That is like absolutely fantastic. Really encouraging. Like I hope my kids will I'm excited for that age when they start to like venture out, spread their wings that little bit. And I think it's I hope it is a payoff for kind, decent parenting, where it's like, because you can speak with them, like, look, if something happens again, the trouble, you message me. If something starts to go like to the left, just come and tell me, and we'll talk about it. It's not going to be like a big problem. So I think it's kind of, if anything, it's kind of like reaping the rewards of well-meaning parenting strategies. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It's definitely different from when I was raised, where like you would just hide that stuff. You're like, never happened. Anybody says it, like, never happened. You're dead to me, right? Like nothing. Yeah.
Snitches get stitches. Okay,
that's right. Yeah.
Ain't none of you go soft.
That's right. We're in this together.
Hey, gaming dads, do you have a story from your childhood shenanigans you'd like to share? I can do it anonymously. If you want to keep that private, that's fine. But it's the same thing, at New Dad Gaming or newdadgaming.com. Now on to shenanigans in space and in some of the grindiest fashions possible. And it turns out that we are very much aligned again in our gaming interests, because Jeff, you bought No Man's Sky.
Yeah. Again, this is a podcast about us trying to get each other to buy things, and I think it's working out beautifully
every time.
But you are a big fan of this game. I do own this game on PS4. It's a chore to come down to the basement and load in a disc. Very much about convenience now with the limited dad game time I have. So with this they launched a new update. I think it's called Worlds Part 1.
They've got to stop. It's absurd how much.
I don't know how they make money. Well, they make money from me, so like that's how they're doing it. But yeah, constant updates. I don't know. Are you keeping track? This is probably update number like 15, like major.
Well, I think I'm trying to think if did this game release between my kids? I remember being in Toronto.
It's 2016, I think, is when it came out.
Yeah, so it was between my two kids. So so this game is older than my youngest, who's turning 7. That entire time, you think about that first game and all the updates they made, and they made an update just last month with brand new missions, brand new not dungeons, but like expeditions, like limited time expeditions. They completely redid the engine for water and fauna and like, it's just, what a game. It really did grow into the promise from the first demo. As far as like this is a living world. They did get there.
Yeah, for sure.
So I looked at Worlds. A buddy of mine started to play it again. I said, hey, we're back into here. Like, you should dive in. I updated it on my PC because I did buy it twice. I bought it. I was like a first day purchaser. I think it's the first time I actually watched. I stayed up till midnight and I watched the time tick down so I could actually play it. It's the only game I've ever done this for. Launch it.
Yeah.
It was awesome. No regrets there. But then I bought it for PC because I was traveling, and just like PC's my better, more available hardware those days.
Yeah.
And updated it, got in, and it's like the first mission was like, hey, go collect a 2,000 ore. I just promptly closed the laptop. I'm like, I want to do this, but just not tonight. Like, that was a night where it's like long day of work, big summer days type of thing. It's like I just did not have the stomach for grind fest in space. How you found the experience so far, like getting back into it?
It's definitely okay. So having the form factor just on the Steam Deck, and I can again just take it wherever with me, and usually I'll just be chilling on the couch, we'll be watching something on TV, and just having this available. And like you said, it's a very grindy game, so a lot of resource gathering. I don't mind going around just clicking off boxes and just getting the materials I need without too much of a time crunch, knowing that I can pretty much save anytime I want and exit out, or just leave it for a few minutes. So it's a good game for that. If you're like rushing to get to the end of this story, it seems pretty like, it's going to be a long time before you are able to kind of take those next jumps, because everything requires you to like, hey, now, like, not only do you not have like launch fuel, you don't have like your hyper launch fuel, so you can't get over there. And by the way, you need this other thing that you have never seen before, so you need to go build that. So it's very interconnected, and I could see where like people kind of get lost or like a little bit demotivated from it. Like, I don't want to do all that, but as just a fun grind thing, I don't know. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I don't mind the gathering I can get behind. It's the base building, I think, that really kills me. Because it's like, okay, you need to build these 6 sections of bases. Okay. In order to build this, you need a recipe. For that recipe, you have to get these 7 things. And then you have to, and it's just like, God, I don't want to build this thing. Like, I just want to go on my ship. I have a house. I take care of my home professionally. I'd prefer not to have to do all this nonsense in game.
See, that's what I think. Yeah, absolutely. Like, because you're very much Elite Dangerous, right? Like, you're like space trucking, right?
Being
and
a
I
spaceman.
love Stardew Valley, and that's very much resource gathering, build stupid things to progress. So this is kind of like that mix for me. I haven't really got into a lot of the base building. I've just built like a little cabin on an ice world. Ice latte, I called it. And if anybody's there, I don't have the coordinates on me. But I love having like just little isolated things to kind of deal with and go about my day, and it runs super well. So it's like even like well optimized. The thing does not drain battery too much. So I'm having a blast. I was hoping to get my kids into it too. They are not sci-fi fans in the least bit, so that's where I've kind of failed. We'll build on that. We'll work on that.
So that's my greatest regret as a father.
Yeah, because a lot of my stuff is like sci-fi and maybe like, Witcher fantasy level, right? So yeah, that's something we have to work on. Maybe New Year's resolution or something. But
there you go.
I've been having a blast. I'm happy. So if I see you out there, I'll give you a call on the old, trucker phone.
Space intercom.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I want to dive in. I think if anything, it's like the start a new game, especially like because there's so many patches since I last played. Just start fresh again. The one thing I'm curious about my appetite for, it is one of the greatest VR games I've played.
Okay.
So because its mechanics are just fantastic as far as like the movement and the gathering, and then the guns and looking at the various resources, scanning, like the way they've implemented everything and how your hands and everything moves, like it just feels phenomenal. And because of the scope of it, it's like, my Lord, I'm just like floating through space here. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
Right. However, like to actually, if the game is going to be 40 hours long,
right.
The thought of doing 40 hours in VR seems a bit daunting. But
that is a long time to be in VR. Well, that would take you a couple years. Like, let's be honest. Summer's over.
Well, we'll see. I'm getting the itch. I'm watching this, and it's like, man, I should just like get in it. This is one of the ones I really want to beat because I've so long adored this game. It was on the poll. You remember a while ago where it was, hey, which game should Trevor play next?
Yeah.
Still have not touched the other one, to be honest.
I mean, that was to be expected, I think.
Yeah, what can I say? You would expect nothing less. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
What were you going to do,
I had
Trevor?
confidence
Beat a
in you.
game?
I had confidence. I just knew the realities.
Yeah. I think about that sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's even a better quest. I really should. I'm trying to, as I state, I've tried and failed so many times, but you've only really failed if you do fail to try again.
Right. Yeah.
A little parental wisdom there for you. So what I should do is try to like just beat the damn. I can't remember the name of it. Horizon Zero Dawn. I should finally beat that damn game so that I can move on to my dessert of No Man's Sky.
That is, again, a lot of resource gathering. So you're just not winning here.
I know, it's constant. I know. It's just, there's no victory in this. I'll tell you this for the game though. I'm finding like I put the difficulty down all the way.
Yeah,
basically
for
just
sure.
story, because forget it, man. I just want to blast through this, punch some like robotic bison, and like be done with it. Sorry, I'm watching like we have a clip of the game running in the background, and I'm so confused.
I'm concerned that there's this animal popping out hot dogs.
Yeah, to describe what's seeing on scene, we have our traveler, the spaceman. He is feeding a creature with backpacks strapped to its side and feeding it has continued to drop glowing orbs. He is now outfitting the creature with accessories.
Wait, can you have pets? Oh,
Yeah.
I want this as a pet. Oh, cute. Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, you can ride. I think you can almost like keep them on you like Pokemon style, and then some of them can fly, and then you can just fly around on your pet.
What?
Yeah.
This made it so much better.
You remember, like, if you played the game, you've been to some places where now he's riding the pet. He's riding the bison, a little pig. So there's some that like they look like blobs, like jellies from Dragon's Quest, and you can ride those. So your traveler is just on this jumping jelly bean riding across the land.
That's amazing. I'm gonna go and try to land on some worlds and tame some animals. I hope it's not like a grind to tame them. I probably need a skill or something.
Nah, there you go. So he just touched the thing twice, and it's like new creature adopted. He just got it within a second. So
amazing.
You just gotta feed it.
I got new missions tonight.
There you go. We've lost Jeff. Everybody, he's off to No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
he's doing Pokemon in space. It's going to be really great.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Hey, and with that, we'll wrap it up there for the week. Everybody, thanks so much once again. As always, like the messages of support and everything as we took our hiatus was really well received. It's so great to hear from everybody, letting us know that they were excited to hear us come back. So here we are. We're going to do our best to try to get on to a normal schedule. We are in summer. It's going to be buck wild. But we're going to do
roller coaster.
It's going to do our best. At very least, once September hits, we should be able to get more into a schedule as kids are back to school and dads are back to work. But
that's right.
Again, thank you everybody so much for listening. Jeff and I truly appreciate it, and we're really excited to keep the show going. As the kids get older, the games get better, and time gets more on our side. So if you like the show, you can find us on all the major podcasting networks, Google Play, Spotify, Casters, anywhere where you find your podcast. Just search for New Dad Gaming. If you have any comments, if you have a funny story from when you were a kid, if you have your own quest or game within No Man's Sky, we'd love to hear from it. Reach out to us on socials at New Dad Gaming or through our website, newdadgaming.com. If you do find the podcast, if you can subscribe, leave a rating and a comment, it helps out the show tremendously. Please do consider doing it as we get out to as many gaming dads as possible. Thanks once again, everybody. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 14-year-old, an 11-year-old, and soon to have a space pet.
There you go. Space bison, here we go.
Yeah.
What's your favorite treat? A num num? You got it, buddy. I'm your traveler.
I'm so looking forward to it. It's amazing.
Just giddy with joy. This is such a chore to be on this podcast and not out in space. All right. See you next week. Well, actually, tell you what, almost forgot our tagline.
Oh.
Remember, just because you became a dad
does not mean it's game over.